Good day everyone. We are the group 6 and we are here to tackle about the human flourishing in terms of science and technology and also the concept of human flourishing according to Aristotle. And let's tackle first about the human flourishing in terms of science and technology. So let's define what is human flourishing to understand our topic clearly because I know some of here is not familiarized about the word flourishing or human flourishing. So according to NLN or National League for Nursing, it is defined as an effort to achieve self-actualization and fulfillment within the context of a larger community of individuals, each with the right to pursue his or her own happiness. For me, human flourishing is a lifelong existential journey filled with dreams, accomplishment, regrets, losses, disease, suffering, and coping mechanism. It's just like we're craving, striving to achieve something that can make us happy. And now, let me introduce you about the human flourishing in terms of science and technology. Among the animals on Earth, we humans identify ourselves as the one who have higher intellectual capacity. Throughout time, passionate search, experiment, or even accidental encounter, a lot of things were discovered and we are determined to use, pursue it, produce, and manipulate nature. Just like the example given in GCR, every living creature is meant to become what it is meant to be.
The concept of human flourishing according to Aristotle. Bullet 1. It arises as a product of different factors such as phronesis, friendship, wealth, and power. Bullet 2 say, true meaning of happiness is achieved by being good. According to Aristotle, happiness consists in achieving through the course of a whole lifetime all the goods, health, wealth, knowledge, friends that leads to the perfection of human nature and to the enrichment of human life. This requires us to make choices, some of which may be very difficult. My guess is that, actually, you think you know what is meant by saying someone is happy. We all hope to be happy and live a good life, whatever that means. Do you wonder, what does it actually mean? A discussion of the philosophy of happiness in life can be seen as an examination of the very nature of happiness and what it means for the universe. Our supreme good or happiness is to lead a life that enables us to use and develop our reason, and that is in accordance with reason. Also, acknowledges that our good or bad fortune can play a part in determining our happiness. For example, he acknowledges that happiness can be affected by such factors as our material circumstances, our place in society, and even our looks. For this reason, happiness is more a question of behavior and of habit, of virtue, than of luck. A person who cultivates such behaviors and habits is able to bear its misfortunes with balance and perspective. Even though happiness is the main key of my discussion, but as you notice, those different factors such as phronesis, friendship, wealth, and power are already built on it. There we see the practical wisdom, which defines as practical action, and the friendship to yourself by another. Also, the power that stands between nothingness and being in act. And lastly, wealth is the stock of useful things or that has values and useful enough to maintain the needs of the particular reason.
So let's proceed to the third bullet of the concept of human flourishing according to Aristotle. It says that the good proper for human beings refers to the activities in which the life functions specific to be most fully realized. As you can notice, this is somewhat connected to the second bullet. It was said there that by being good, the true meaning of happiness is achieved. Now, this goes with the questions, what does it mean by being good? What is being good for human beings? In this concept, it is being emphasized that for human beings to be good, it is to know your life's purpose. You must realize the value and worth of your life. So, for example, we as a student, we aim at making our parents proud. So upon realizing our life's functions and purpose, we study hard in order for us to have satisfying grades. And we strive even harder to reach our dreams. With those actions that we made, we did good. Why? As what was said from the previous concept, happiness is achieved by being good. So, that's it. We receive happiness, and that's because of the goal that we have plotted for ourselves and of all the efforts that we have done to achieve that certain goal. Hence, to be good is to realize your life's function to its fullest. Next, let's proceed to the fourth bullet. It says that the good of each species is finality existing to human species. So what does it mean? It means that the good is already settled within us. So, for Aristotle, in this concept of him, the good is permanent and it is already operating and existing from within. This follows that each one of us is capable of being good. It means that we don't have to look for our good from the others because we already have it. All we have to do is acknowledge and develop it. No need to feel envious from the others because you have your own.
So, let's proceed to the bullet 5 and 6. Bullet 5 state that a fundamental fact of human nature is the existence of individual human beings, each with his own rational mind and free will. Most of us are certain that we have free will, though that exactly this amounts to is much less certain. Like for an example, that an agent has free will is to say that the agent has the capacity to choose his or her course of action. But animals seem to satisfy this criterion, and we typically think that only persons and not animals have free will. Let us also understand the word free will as a capacity unique to persons that allows them to control their actions. Bullet 6 state the highest of most general good to which all individuals should aim is to live most fully alive, a life that is proper to man. So every activity has a final cause, the good at which it aims. And Aristotle argued that since there cannot be an infinite regress of merely intrinsic goods, there must be a highest good at which all human activity ultimately aims.
Bullet 7 and 8. So, according to Aristotle, the proper function of every person is to live happily, successfully, and well. This is done through the active exercise of a person's distinctive capacity, rationality, as he or she engage in activities to the degree appropriate to the person, in the context of her own particular identity as a human being. Because person is naturally social, it is good for him to live in a society. Aristotle emphasizes the individuating characteristics of human beings when the person proclaims that the goodness of the society is separately related to those who make it up. For Aristotle, social life in a community is necessary condition for a person's complete flourishing as a human being.
Eudaimonia is firmly egoistic in a person's normative reason for choosing actions stems from the idea that he or she must pursue his or her own good or flourishing. The good in human conduct is connected to the self-interest of the acting person. Eudaimonia means happiness or flourishing. For Aristotle, eudaimonia was achieved through living virtuously, or what we might describe as being good. This doesn't guarantee happiness in the modern sense of the word. In fact, it might mean doing something that makes us unhappy, like telling an upsetting truth to a friend. Today, when we think about a flourishing person, virtue doesn't always spring to mind. Instead, we think about someone who is relatively successful, healthy, and with access to a range of the good things in life. We tend to think flourishing equals good qualities plus good fortune.
The concept of human flourishing according to Aristotle. According to ethical readings, and it's said that the case of person to live fully is a happiness and well-being. Living the life fully will make us humans satisfied with our life. And then, according to Aristotle, best that is within him or her, be the best version of yourself. Express what you want to express, and be the number one fan of yourself.
Today's concept of a human flourishing proves to be different from what Aristotle originally perceived. Aristotle is the most significant thinker and the most accomplished individual who has ever lived. Every person currently living in a Western civilization owes an enormous debt to Aristotle, who is the fountainhead behind every achievement of science, technology, political theory, and aesthetics, especially romantic art. In today's world, Aristotle's philosophy has underpinned the achievements of what Renaissance and of all scientific advances and technology progress to this very day. Aristotle, the teachers of those who know, defended reason, invented logic, focused on reality, and emphasized the importance of a life on earth. The importance of reality, reason, and logic in Aristotelian philosophy has enabled science and technology to develop and to flourish. His philosophy of reason embodied a primacy of existence approach that states the knowledge of the world commences by looking at and examining what exists, recognizing the validity of man's senses. Aristotle taught that men can increase their knowledge by augmenting the evidence of the senses through reason. He explained that conceptualization should be preceded by inductive observation in our efforts to understand the world. Reason is competent to know reality, but it is necessary to begin with what exists in the world. Aristotle teaches that each man's life has a purpose and that the function's life is to attain that purpose. He explained that purpose of a life and earthly happiness of flourishing that can be achieved by a reason and accusations of virtue. Articulating an explicit and clear understanding of the end toward which a person's life aims, Aristotle states that each human being should use his ability to their fullest potential and should obtain happiness and enjoyment through the exercise of their realized capacities. He contends that human achievements are animated by purpose and autonomy, and what people should take pride in being excellent at what they do. According to Aristotle, human beings have a natural desire and capacity to know and understand the truth, to pursue moral excellence, and to instantiate their ideals in the world through actions.
The Western society tends to be more focused on their individual, while those from the East are more community-centric. So there are different for those two countries or region. We first discuss Western. It's all about North Korea, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. They are all belong to Western. The Western concept is more focused or usually described as individualistic, and people are characterized as a having a more independent view of the self. An individual is seen as consisting primarily of personal attributes such as personality, traits, belief, and attitude. So, it means the Western society that they like to think and do the thing in their own way, rather than imitating other people. So, the East focus is community-centric, so meaning they are looking for their community or pangkalahatan, yung para sa komunidad ang kanilang ginagawa. The Asia, Middle East, and we are also belong to East. Community is take the highest regards, should sacrifice himself for the sake of the society.
And that brings us to the end. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention today. This is the Group 6 and Elevo.